You know, humans have been eating animals since forever. Native Americans had buffalo, Australians have kangaroos, but luckily enough, we live in a time with food on just about every corner, which gives us time to discuss the real heavy-hitting questions, like, what is the most edible Animal Crossing villager? I mean, think about it. You're stranded on an island with no resources out in the middle of nowhere. It only makes sense that you would consider eating one of these guys. Now, this question has been heavily debated for a while, with Plato's famous quote, "Isabel is the obvious choice. I mean, just look at her." And I believe we can rank this in two different ways: practicality and pleasure. It's this fucking cat, bro. I'm not gonna explain myself. Okay, now this is where the real debate starts. Consulting this chart that they used to hang up in all the elementary school cafeterias, there are 5 different food groups that we need: fruits, grains, vegetables, proteins, and dairy. Considering optimal nutrition and all that, first we need a nice source of protein. Protein is what's responsible for building muscle, so if we want to actually overpower any of these animals, we're going to need a lot of it. Now, from this list of animals, the only ones that I would actually maybe want to eat are cows, chickens, bulls, gorillas, horses, and some breeds of dogs. Realistically speaking, I don't think I could overpower a gorilla or a bull, and dog probably doesn't even taste that good, so we'll skip those. Now, fitting this criteria, we've narrowed it down to cows, chickens, bulls, gorillas, horses, and some breeds of dogs. Moving on to the second category of this is fruits, which luckily enough naturally grow on the island. Fruits actually allow you to break rocks and pick up trees, so they'll be useful once we've picked out our target. If you're going out of your way to hurt as many people as possible, you could choose Tangy, which is literally just a cat made of a giant orange, or Ketchup, who's a tomato duck thing. I'm sorry, but I gotta just say this, I hated all those kids in school that would go out of their way to correct you. Did you know that a tomato is technically a fruit and not a vegetable? Like, shut up, I don't care. You are probably one of the worst human beings ever. Out of all the fruits that have been in the games, I gotta pick lemons, bro. Now, this isn't me just being a contrarian here. I truly like lemons, and people hate on them so much. Like, they'll eat literal fucking acid, but eating a lemon is just too far. We got vegetables, which for some reason is the biggest section on this chart. And you know what? I'll say it. Vegetables are gross. Vegetables are for babies. We're on a deserted island. No one's gonna force me to eat them, so I'm not going to. But grains. Don't even get me started on grains, bro. This is where all the good stuff is. We got the breads. We got the pasta. The cakes. Just imagine an all-you-can-eat at Olive Garden, and that's basically this category. Meringue is a cake, so technically we could eat her, but unfortunately there's like 0 protein or any actual substantial nutrients, so we'd probably be hungry again pretty quick. Grains are most commonly associated with carbs, which are the foods that make you fat. But that's not entirely true. Carbs are what provide you with energy, and it's the processed carbs like meringue here that make you fat. The complex carbs like wheat or fruit just provide you with some quick energy. You might be saying, but wait a minute, I thought fruits was its own separate category. And you would be correct. Michelle Obama was actually trying to make you fat this whole time. Honestly, I don't know, but her own daughter smokes cigarettes. How are you gonna tell me what's healthy or not? Fuck all the villagers, bro. Just eat a piece of whole wheat bread and call it a day. And that leads us to the most neglected portion of the My Plate chart, the dairy section. Now, realistically, I think they just put this here as an excuse to force us to drink milk with our pizza, which is fucked up in and of itself. Dairy is what's responsible for you having strong bones, which is definitely important. But like, who's seriously evil enough to force kids to eat pizza with milk? No wonder kids are shitting their pants all day in school. The easiest way to get your dairy is in milk, which thankfully you can get by just fondling a cow a little bit. All the cow villagers are a little prudish and cover up, so I can't actually verify if any of them have udders. But assuming they do, I'm gonna have to go with Patty. She seems the most traditional and probably has good milk. So that covers all the food categories on the chart. And what did we learn from it? Well, if you're on a deserted island and can only eat one villager, you're gonna want one that covers the most categories on here. And guess what? Not a single one of them covers all the categories. You're probably saying, so this chart is bullshit and the schools were lying to me? Yes. The only reason they put milk on here is because the government had a deal with Big Milk. Look up the government cheese caves. But it also highlights the importance of a balanced diet, but who cares about that? We want to eat people. And narrowing it down to the villagers that cover the most categories, we got the cows. You can get both dairy and protein from them. But we also learned that Michelle Obama, your daughter smokes cigarettes, and you ruined school lunch. Big milk? Big milk?